Alright, welcome back to the Guinness YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to be going over some key points as to why they should not bring Cayde back. Now, it's not really a big argument. I know this video is really late as well, but I still feel like some people think he should come back, some people don't, and I'm just going to explain sort of as to why they should not bring him back. So, we'll start off. We all know who Cayde is. He was probably the most loved character in the franchise, still is for most people, even after his passing. We've just had 2 years of content without him, unfortunately. But, you know, obviously in Forsaken, Uldren clapped him. So, but I still believe he should not come back, despite how much I love him. And here is why. Also, don't worry about the background gameplay. It was originally supposed to be the first mission of the Forsaken campaign, but for some reason you can't access it at all. Like, I even got on my New Lights account trying to do it, couldn't work, so it's just going to be some boring gameplay of me on the Tangled Shore. Hopefully it's not too much of a bother, but then again, if you're coming here for the background gameplay, you've gone to the wrong place. But let's get started. Okay, so here's number one. The whole plot of Forsaken. Forsaken was made sort of around Cayde's death. Sort of, if you bring Cayde back, you know, where does that go? Like, it doesn't make sense. Sort of. Like, Cayde's ghost got shot. You don't get another ghost. You don't get another chance. Resetting an EXO is different than reviving them. Sort of. Like, people are saying, oh, make him Cayde-7. That's not how that works. One, if you make a Cayde-7, that would be not worth anything because it wouldn't be Cayde. It would just be some random EXO that just looks like Cayde. Two, like, you can't reset somebody who's dead. Resetting an EXO just means wiping their memory, not necessarily reviving them, which is your ghost job. And you only get one ghost. So after Cayde's ghost is gone, it's not like I can be like, yo, Cayde, let me use my ghost to revive you. No, your ghost is sort of your ghost. That's it. Like how recently with Osiris losing Sagira, now he's at the tower because he can't do anything. Once you've lost your ghost, that's it. So it doesn't make sense to bring Cayde back because his ghost is dead as well. Like, if his ghost never died, then he would have just been resurrected. Simple as that. And he had no purpose in getting a reset because there was no need. So that's sort of why one of the things. Another thing is it's like his legacy. Forsaken was sort of like the end of Cayde, you know. So we should just leave it at that. Be happy with what we had with him. Instead, sort of, you got all of D1 to enjoy, and then barely any of D2, considering the fact that a lot of the old content did get cut out that he was a part of. But, you know, just leave it at that. Like, bringing Cayde back would probably cause a huge upset, because it would just seem like such a odd move to make. So just leave it at that, you know? Keep it where it is, because then we also have his gun now, too. Like, we have Ace of Spades. What's he going to do? He's just going to come back and have nothing? The only thing that he'd have is his chicken. So, I don't think that would also make any logical sense. And then it would basically just make Forsaken pointless. Because when you think about it, right, Forsaken revolves around Cayde and Uldren. And sort of the Barons. And the whole plot of Forsaken was, like, avenge Cayde, get Uldren, and all of his Barons. And then there was also the side plot that ended up becoming the main soon after the campaign with the Dreaming City and everything, but that has nothing to do with what we're going on about right now. But basically, you know, all of what we did in Forsaken would just be, like, there would be no purpose. We might as well have just never had Forsaken and just be hunt down Barons, go to Dreaming City. Like, there would be no purpose in them ever killing Cayde. There would be no value in it if we brought Cayde back. Because then it would basically just be hunting bad guys once again without a purpose. Like, of course there's always a purpose, like, yeah, don't let them do this, but there would be at that point in time nothing, just a bunch of Barons and Uldren running around the Tangled Shore, which at that point wouldn't have been our problem really, since Cayde was the one who went there. Like, what, would we have been sent there? Nothing would have happened? Like, it would just have like a whole gap in the story. And then especially for the New Lights, like, if Cayde comes back, they're playing Forsaken. Cayde dies, then they get to the end, Uldren dies, and then right after that, look, they're both alive. Like, it's just gonna be like this huge thing that makes no sense unless you've been playing the game for years, and it already makes no sense. I mean, with Uldren coming back, like, look at that. like bringing Aldrin back sort of, I have a feeling with what's going to happen is because of Cayde's challenge, he'll probably eventually end up being the Hunter Vanguard. So if you bring Cayde back, once again, what the whole Vanguard situation too, because Cayde originally set up a challenge where whoever killed him got to take his place as Vanguard, and well, Aldrin killed him, right? Which he's been brought back. We don't know what's going to happen with Aldrin next, but sort of what stuff has been sort of predicting, it looks like that he might end up being the Hunter Vanguard one way or another, because his whole purpose is Season of the Hunt. Once that season is over, where in the world is he going? Because I don't think he's just going to stay at the Tangled Shore and do nothing. But still, it would just have no logic in it whatsoever. Like, that's just basically saying, really doubling down on the fact that Guardians are invincible, which we're not. Like, Guardians aren't perfect, we're not invincible. We can't just let our ghost die and just be like, oh, wow, let me get a new one, type of thing. You know? Like, there's value to his death. We can't just sort of put it off to the side and be like, yeah, I like that. Like, you can like Cayde, but wanting him to come back is just not worth it. Plus, Cayde doesn't belong in these times, you know? Darkness, all this stuff. Let Cayde rest. He came home to Ace a while ago. I think he's happier there than dealing with all this stasis stuff and whatever's going on. Plus, at this point, like, if he came back, he wouldn't really fit in any plot line. Like, the only thing that I could see is because of how darkness lore works, like, there's always, like, an alternate version of every Guardian that's either more powerful or just as powerful, right? If there's a darkness Cayde, that makes sense. Like, that Cayde never died because he's just built different, and hoop-de-dang-do, you know, we see him, right? But bringing our Cayde back, the one that we know and love, just would not make sense at all. And I can't double down on that point enough. There's, like, no way that bringing our Cayde back could do anything, because, like, say that you do bring him back and he's reset or whatever, like, if you bring him back with how Guardian rules work, it still won't be Cayde. So, like, say, like, oh, a ghost just so happened to stumble upon his grave and not recognize him and then revive him, right? He'll be Cayde-6, but losing all memory of past life type of thing, just like how when Aldrin got resurrected, right? And at this point, you know what, Aldrin, I like him a lot more. The Crow, as he's known as now, I am perfectly fine, because, like, he's like that character, completely clueless, but it's great. So, I'd say, like, Aldrin taking Cayde's place at this point in time, like, not 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if the Crow took Cayde's place, nah. But, like, now that all this time has passed and everything, I would be happier with Crow taking Cayde's place as the Hunter Vanguard, as, like, the guy who does the jokes, because he's, like, his jokes are him not knowing anything, you know? Just like, dang, I wish I knew you in my past life. Maybe I wouldn't have died. Just random stuff like that that's funny when he's not trying to be. So, just keep the Crow. Cayde, just rest in peace. That's sort of how I'm going to conclude this video, alright? Because Crow and Aldrin are two different people. Because Aldrin killed Cayde, but that was more of a taken, possessed Aldrin as well. And then the Crow, no memory, no nothing. You can't get mad at him at all. There was just a ghost that ran up on him, revived him. End of story, right? So, I'm just saying, I am perfectly happy with the Crow alive and Cayde dead. That sounds terrible, but, I mean, everybody at this point should have learned to accept it. Like, as much as we didn't want it to happen at the time, it's something that, you know what, it happened. We've all, you know, we've been playing for 2.5 years without Cayde, almost. Well, we originally found out in June of 2018, so it basically has been 2.5 years of this knowledge, and I am perfectly fine with that. I love Cayde, but there's just no purpose in bringing him back. But then again, if you have your own opinion, feel free to let me know. I know this is just more so of a very opinionated video, but also it's just a bit of truth behind it, I'd like to think. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Once again, just sort of have the Discord link if you want to talk about it in Discord, or DM me about it, like anything. It's like, say you don't want your comment to be public about it, like, feel free to DM, join the Discord. We do some fun challenges on Xbox every now and then, trying to get one set up, so feel free. Anyways, this is me going up to the top telling myself I need to end the video now. So Merry Christmas if I don't get another video out as well, judging by the time that this comes out. Sorry for it being a few days late, and I appreciate the recent support on the channel. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Peace.